Some of my content has mention of extreme violence, sexual assault, and/or other triggering content. Discretion is advised. Hi guys, I didn't necessarily plan on doing a video today, but there's some sad news coming from Texas, and I think that is important to cover. So this event happened over the weekend, but news broke of it yesterday, October 25th, that in Houston, Texas, a 15-year-old called the sheriff's office or 911 and said that this 15-year-old and his 3 siblings were living in an apartment and that they didn't have any food and that their mom had been gone for months. This was around 3:15 on Sunday is when the call came in. Now, what had happened was they went to the apartment. They found a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, and then they sadly discovered the body of a 9-year-old, they believe. This 9-year-old has been dead for about a year. And these siblings, the 15-year-old, the 7-year-old, and the 10-year-old, were living in the apartment with this deceased body of their sibling. They were extremely malnourished. And then they also were beaten, it seems, and they were living alone. The police basically said that these kids were fending for themselves, that the 15-year-old was kind of taking care of the siblings, and it's unclear if they were attending school or not. And that's pretty much all we know. Nothing has been released about the children, and I don't think there will be or should be anything released about the children. They did come out and say that they had found the mother and the mother's boyfriend. They had questioned them and let them go. So there was no charges brought, and I'm very confused at why. The medical examiner is doing a autopsy on the 9-year-old to see cause of death. That won't come back for a little while. And the kids have been put into protective custody by CPS. The family had supposedly had a long history with CPS, but there's been nothing official. It's just really sad. This is a sad, sad story. I feel like everyone involved kind of dropped the ball on these children, and it just tears my heart in too that this was happening. Now, we don't know if they were in school, but supposedly a neighbor had let them charge their cell phone and had given them food. That's supposedly what happened, and how the 15-year-old was able to call for help. Neighbors had been smelling odd smells, of course, with the decomposing body in an apartment. And we don't know if there was any cooling in that apartment over the summer. Yeah, so they had been smelling odd smells. The neighbor next door said that she basically didn't want to run her air conditioner because it would cause a bad smell. And she reported it to the landlord, but the landlord, and I don't really know what happened with this, but the landlord has not done checks in the apartment for a year. but they are supposed to be doing checks. So we don't really know what's going on with that either. I have so many questions. Were the utilities on this whole year? See, I was thinking last night maybe the landlord came into the apartment but didn't go into that room. But I feel like they would smell what was going on, but maybe not. I don't know how that works. The neighbor that helped feed them, I don't know if they knew what was going on or not. They could have just been noticing that the mom hadn't come back in, a few months and not known the extent of what was happening. So yeah, that's so many questions on my mind. Why was the 15-year-old left with a phone? I did look up some information last night, and I found that while living with a dead body is not ideal, I mean, of course, there's the terrible, terrible smell. It does not cause any health effects to who is living there. So the kids might, unless there was a disease, the kids might not have had any health effects from living with this body for a year. However, they're going to have so much emotional trauma. There's going to be so much trauma with this case because, first of all, if the child was murdered, were the kids thinking, am I going to be next? Am I going to be dead like my sibling? If the child died of malnourishment or something like that, the kids probably thought they were on their last couple of days. They were worried about getting food. There's going to be a lot of emotional trauma from seeing your dead sibling basically decompose, and knowing that your sibling is there. It's just, there's a lot of emotional trauma that these children are going to have to go through. The 15-year-old having the guilt of taking care of the siblings and maybe not knowing what to do. 15-year-olds are still children and they're still figuring things out, and they should not be left to take care of kids like that. I wanted to address something because I have seen so much hate online. Hate against the parents, which is justified, but also hate against the neighbor, hate against the 15-year-old. Those things I feel like we should not be doing. First of all, I don't want to, it's hard. I don't want there to be this bashing online of someone who tried to help. And it seems like the neighbor in this situation saw some kids that needed food, needed to charge their cell phone, and they did that. If there's bashing of this person for not calling, then maybe other people won't go to the extent that she did. And this could have been, all of the children found dead. So I applaud the neighbor for helping. Do I wish there would have been a call from someone? Yes. But I think the person to blame is the person who left them. And we don't necessarily know the mom's story. She could be living in an abuse situation. I mean, there's so much that we just don't know. But I think that bashing people who are trying to help in some way is just unhelpful. And what really makes me upset is the bashing of the 15-year-old. There's so much online about you should have done this and you should have done that. And this is still a child. This was still a teenager taking care of 2 kids and a dead body in an apartment, not knowing what to do. And this 15-year-old helped his siblings or her siblings get this far. You know, who would have known what would have happened if it just would have been them two? So this 15-year-old needs our love and support, and not, you should have done this or you should have done that. That's just not going to help. The person responsible for this is whoever left them, and there needs to be charges brought, especially child abuse charges, murder charges if that's what happened. We don't have a lot of information, so I really don't want you guys going to the comments and bashing. Let's wait. Definitely post your theories, but let's wait and see how this plays out, because I just feel for this community as well that this happened. It's really, really sad. I feel like everything was just put on these kids that the system failed. So I wanted to bring this news story to your attention. I think it's important. And I think the big moral of this story is that we help each other out. If you see something, say something. If you feel like there's something going on, say something. I know that these kids want to be together, so I really hope that they find a home for all of them. But I also just hope that they're safe and that they're happy and they grow up just living wonderful lives. So yeah, it's sad reporting on this today, but I think it's important to just say, take care of each other, be kind to one another, and I know it's been a rough couple of years. We are gonna get through this together. I promise it's gonna be okay. And if you are struggling or know someone who is struggling, please report. Even if it makes someone mad, report. So I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, love each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching. If you liked this video or any of my other content, please click the subscribe button and the bell and the like button to help me with my content and my channel as it grows. Also follow me on social media platforms. Right now my biggest form of communication outside of YouTube is TikTok, so please add me on there. I make some funny true crime content on there. So thank you guys for watching. Love you.